All right, so good to go. We can start now. Yes, I forgot the CR of this class. What can Keegan? Okay. So yes, how to pronounce Keegan or Keegan?
Keegan.
Keegan. Keegan, can we start?
What?
We can start now.
Yeah, yeah. Surely.
Yeah, because अभी तक कुछ लोग आए नहीं है. Okay, 52. Fine. All right, now we can start. Okay. So we are starting with object-oriented programming with Java. So this is a separate course which I am teaching you. So this course is jointly taught by me and Ankita ma'am. So Ankita ma'am will take your practical part, and I will take your theory part. Okay. Uh, so till this thing is going on. I mean, what will happen in the next month, I don't know. But till the as per timetable, she will take your practical thing, and I will take your theoretical part. Okay. So we will start with our module one. So this is called a skill-based lab course. It is object-oriented programming with Java. You have 50 marks term work for this subject and 25 marks external oral practical exam. So in that 50 marks, there are some marks allocated for mini projects. Okay. So I I guess those guys who had already attended the course on Java programming, which has been organized for you guys in the vacation, so they can use that project. But before that, I will just do a small scrutiny that whether it is visible for your mini project or not. Okay. So I'll take a survey form as well as I'll ask whether you had attended this course or not. Okay. So you can reuse your project and enhance it, modified it, try to learn more what you know. Hmm. So we start by understanding the lineage of Java programming language. Okay. So now we are starting. Just pay attention, everyone. So in the world of programming, the first language which come as a superhero who conquered all the problems of developer is C programming language. So C was so good that it got standardized whole world. That if someone is using C programming, there is a standard version which is available for entire world. Okay. So C was so popular. It is like some of the great marvelous thing happens in the world of programming language. Then after that, the world realized that C is not able to solve some of the complex problems. Okay, because of some architectural issue in the way C was developed. Okay, so then the world moved from C to C++ programming. Okay, so it is like whatever C was not able to do, that power is added to C programming, and now it is called C++. So those who know that plus plus is incremental operator, so it is like C ka next version. So C++ is the next version of C programming. What extra power C++ has? It is anyone knows what extra power C++ has, which is not there in C programming. Can anyone comment and tell? STL, what is STL? Yeah, oh, object oriented programming. So C++ is object oriented programming language, where C is not. Okay, yes, this is fine. So now C++ was there, which is solving all the problem which C was not able to solve. Okay, C से भी वो software बन सकता था, but C was so complex to. I mean, the outcome of that thing is so complex that it is not easy for us to understand as a programmer. Okay, so it is better to move to the world of object-oriented programming. Okay. C is which type of approach? C is not object-oriented approach. So which approach C is following for programming? Anyone can answer? What is the approach of C? Because C++ is following object oriented, procedure oriented. Okay, procedure oriented. Can anyone tell me the difference between procedure oriented and object oriented? Okay. We will learn this thing in detail. I just want कि किसी को पता है structured programming
Object
approach.
oriented matlab like the object is the center point and everything is built around the object.
Yeah, correct. You are
And
asking
structure
or
is
telling
basically
me?
you don't
अच्छा.
look at the object. You basically build a structure and then you input the objects and all.
Okay. ठीक है. Anyone else? और किसी का कुछ input? In procedure oriented, we focus on procedures. What do you mean by procedures? Procedure means in terms of coding. If we talk in terms of as a programmer, so as a programmer in programmer's language, what do you mean by a procedure? What in procedure oriented we focus on procedures, correct? So if suppose you are telling functions, correct? So apart from functions, what else is there in programming? In procedure oriented language, we basically focus on functions. So it means in a program, uh, there are something other, there are some other things apart from functions. So what else is there apart from functions in programming in general? Suppose तुम एक प्रोग्राम लिख रहे हो, उसमें तुमने
Class
functions तो बना दिए. Yes.
classes.
Classes will come later. अभी हम बेसिक जो C प्रोग्रामिंग किया उसमें बात करो. ओके, इन C प्रोग्रामिंग फंक्शंस एक तुमने बनाया, और क्या करते हो प्रोग्रामिंग में? There are two basic things we basically do in programming or play with the program. So one is function. There is one more thing. Variables. Okay, variables or data, correct. So there are two things in any program. We have certain data, okay, and what we want to do is we want to manipulate those data, okay, and to manipulate those data, what we do is we write functions. Okay, this is the way structured programming approach works. And why it is structured? It means we can divide our program into multiple functions. Okay, so we don't want only one function to be there. Instead, we can write multiple functions, okay, to manipulate data differently. All right. So again, you will understand all these things. So till now, you know that C programming, whenever you write a code, what you do is you define certain variables, then you write lot of functions. Okay. And what these functions are doing, they are specifically executing some task. Okay. So they are solving some part of problem for which you are building a program. Correct. This is clear, no? Okay. So in structured programming, what we can do is we can divide our program into functions. So functions are basic structural block for my C programming. Okay, understanding why it is structured, because we can divide our program into smaller structure of functions. Okay. Again, I will explain this thing next later slides. We have C++. Then after that, what happened is Java came into existence. So we can understand there are some problems C language was facing. For that, C++ came with the facility of object-oriented programming. Okay, but why Java? Because Java is also a object-oriented programming language. So once we had something available, okay, which is part of some famous family, then why we move ahead with some other programming language? So why Java happened? Okay, so this is the main purpose of this today's lecture is we will understand why Java happened and what was the quality of Java programming language. Okay. Any question, anything which you want to know before starting? Okay. So what we are going to do is we are going to a journey of the life of Java programming language. Okay. So how Java born and how it became what Java is now. No, sir. Okay, cool. So we can start with the next slide. In case you have any kind of issue, you can write in comments. So to understand this journey of Java programming language, we have to go and explore our history of programming languages. Okay, so lot of things happened in between 1951 and 1967. Okay, so this is the era where lot of programming language came. Okay, to define their role in this world. Okay, but nothing succeeded so much. So in the list, we started in the earlier phases with the unstructured programming. So we had a lot of unstructured programming languages like Fortran, COBOL, BASIC. Okay. So why we call them unstructured is, first thing, we cannot divide those programs into smaller functions. Okay. So we have to write only one function. Let's call it as a main function. And what this main function will do, you have to write everything within within that single function. Okay. What worst was there were no control structures also. So those who know control structures, we have if, else, for, while, you know what value they play in the programming. Okay, so those structures were also absent. Those control structures were also absent in the unstructured programming. So what kind of code we built? Okay, so the example is given in the figure. So the code which we built is with a lot of goto statements. So it means my control is switching from one place to other place with the help of goto statements. Okay, so at the end, what you will develop is, you will develop a code which will look like a spaghetti. Okay, so where you cannot trace that what is the flow of my program. So from first line, second line, third line, after that, where my code is moving, how the control is transferring, that is very difficult to understand in case of unstructured programming. Okay, so what was the problem for building a simple program? This thing is fine for 4, 5, 10, 50 lines, it is manageable. But if I am increasing the complexity, then suddenly what happened is, this program is not understood to the programmers also. Okay, so क्या उन्होंने बना दिया वो भी उनको नहीं समझ में आ रहा है. Okay, so if we are not understanding anything, so we cannot of course correct it. What is the mistake? Okay, if some mistake is there, it is very difficult for us to find out the mistake. Okay, so those who have done some kind of debugging, they will know what type of trouble will come if there are no for loops, no if else. We are simply moving from one place to other place with the help of goto statement. Okay, so this is about unstructured programming. No way to divide programs into smaller functions to solve the complexity. Second thing, only goto statements were there to move or to jump my control from one location to other location. Okay, so this is about unstructured programming. So now next is, world realized that we need to simplify our task. The programmers realized that we need to build a language which will reduce this thing. So they moved from unstructured to structured. Okay. Now, when they thought of structured programming, they thought of dividing functions, dividing a program into separate modules so that it can be easily manageable. Okay. Basically, they were targeting कि programming easy हो जाना चाहिए so that we can debug it properly. All right. So they invented Pascal. Certainly, Pascal was not so efficient that we can actually implement some code in practically. I mean, practically it was not so useful for us, even though it is structured. Then we have assembly language programming. So assembly language programming is, you can build structuring thing you can do, but then to understand that code, it is very difficult for us. Okay. So with the help of structured programming, we were in the quest of finding an efficient language, and which is simple also to understand for us. Okay, and this is the stage for C programming language. And after that, what happened is, in the year of 67 and 72, lot of things happened. Okay, because of which C comes under existence as a programming language. So what happened is, in this time, first thing is, in the year of 1970, the computer revolution happened. So it means what happened is, now computer is not placed in some scientific location in a closed door so that only 1 or 2 person in this whole universe can access. Okay. So now in 1970, what happened is, computer is trying to become a household thing. Okay. So a lot of people had access to computers. So now they have access to a computer, which is a computing device which can solve their problems. Okay. So what they needed is, they wanted to use this hardware efficiently, okay, in order to use this hardware efficiently, there were a strong need of software. Okay, it's like that now the smartphones are coming and you need lot of applications on top of the smartphone so that you can use it for various purposes. Okay, so people had unlimited access to computers. Okay, so what they are gonna do, they want software and they have unlimited access to computers. Okay, so they started experimenting with the computers by developing their own tools. Okay, and then they realized that we need a better programming language. Okay, whatever things are available, they are good, but they are not so powerful that we can use the way we want now. Okay, so programmers started to build their own tools. So they simply wanted to simplify their task. Okay, and what is the task they are focusing on? They wanted to simplify the programming, and the result was C programming language. So C ऐसे suddenly नहीं आया. It is also having history. So it is derived from BCPL, that is Basic Combined Programming Language, and then it changed to B, and finally refined and upgraded as a language C. Okay. Only why C is considered, because C achieved what all the other programming language was not able to. Okay. Apart from C, one more innovation happened, that is Unix as a operating system. So these two combinedly did a magic in the world of computing. Okay, and C was so popular, so useful, that in December 1989, the American National Institute Standards Institute, they made C standard version of C programming language. Okay, so this is the achievement of C programming language. So what C did is it successfully, it conquered everything what other programming language was not able to. Okay, so it is like a superhero which solved all the problem which humanity was facing, at least in as a programmer's world. Okay, so C is so powerful. So C did the magic. Okay, so it created what happened after that is history. You know what is what we can do with the computers now. Okay, till this point things are clear. So this is the journey of C programming language, how C programming happened. All right, so next we move to the next step. So what happened in 72 to 79 is, now the world wanted complex software. They just don't want simple software for performing simpler tasks. Instead, they wanted software for banking, a lot of other commercial applications. Even for scientific applications, they wanted to develop a complex thing which is involving lot of features and everything. Okay. Now with this need, the the developer was in that phase that they found that now it is difficult to manage this program, okay, with C programming. The way C is approaching to solve these issues, the complex problem, is not sufficient for us. Okay, and then they started searching for a new programming language. And in turn, what happened is now C++ was the result. So they found that object-oriented way is the best approach to deal with complex problems, because we live in a complex world. Okay, so we have lot of complexity around us. Okay, so we have living things, we have non-living things, we have planets, we have stars, we have galaxies. Okay, we have lot of viruses which are there, we had knowledge about them. Okay, but we can handle this complex world so simply. You know why? So first thing what we did is we divided each and everything into objects. Okay, and then we put those objects into some category. Okay, and because of this what happened is now our brain is able to process everything. Okay, so this complex world is easily processed by our brain. Okay, because of simply dividing things into objects. Then the programmer realized that if we can handle this complex world with the help of object oriented approach, so why not to put this approach in programming also. So programmers wanted to follow this object-oriented approach in programming also, and they came up with, this is the outcome of their thinking, that they come up with an object-oriented programming. And in the year 1979, what happened is C++ got released. Okay. Now, as they thought, C++ was able to manage larger complex programs. Okay. So once they shift their view to object-oriented approach, they found other benefits also, like inheritance, encapsulation, and polymorphism. So we'll see each and everything in detail in later part of course. Okay. And C++, you can simply call it as enhancement of C, because it has all the things which C programming had, and it added object-oriented feature into the C language. And this is your C++. Okay, till this point things are clear. This is a story only, ऐसा कुछ complex things नहीं है यहाँ पे. Okay, now let's talk about Java programming language. Okay, just are you there? Can you ping and tell? Yes, okay, people are there. Okay, cool.
Yes.
So
yes.
now, yes, okay, thank you. So now the stage is set for Java. Because after C, C++, next we have to understand why Java happened then, because we now understood why C programming was needed and C is there, why C++ is required, C++ is there. Suddenly, we have one object-oriented programming language. Why other programming language with the same feature? Okay. So what happened was, in the year 79 to 99, 91 mein Java first version was released. So before that, what was the case is, C++ is like a miracle again. Just C was, okay. So it was blended with the high efficiency things, okay. A lot of styling, okay. And plus it is like derived from C also. So it has all the thing which a language needed, okay. तो उसका एक पीछे सपोर्ट करने के लिए उसका बाप भी था, okay. Now with all these things, when C++ was there, so it seemed to programmer that finally a perfect language has been derived. Okay, ये language अब बस हो गया, अब यही रहेगा throughout the life. Okay, and C++ was powerful, so we were able to create lot of complex software out of it. Okay, so different diversified application में C++ was working fine. But what happened is, World Wide Web and Internet came to existence, and then the world realized that C++ language, जिसके लिए हम सोच रहे थे कि वो अब कभी खत्म ही नहीं हो सकता, वही फ्यूचर है, is now having that limitation that it is not suitable for programming for internet or World Wide Web. Okay. Now this made the life of Java programming language. So Java was developed by James Gosling and his team, okay, at Sun Microsystems in the year 1991. Okay. Now what happened is, initially Java is called as Oak, but in the year 1995 they renamed it to Java programming language. Okay. So in this journey from 91, from Oak to Java, a lot of things had been done with programming. Okay. So this second phase may Bill Joy, lot of other scientists were involved to develop Oak as a language, as Java programming. Okay. So we'll see what happened in between in the next slide. So first thing is, when we just learned that World Wide Web thing is the major force for for promoting Java as a programming language. But if we go to history and search, then internet or the World Wide Web was not the reason for Java programming language. Okay, yes, it enhanced Java as a programming language, but it was not the reason for its development. So first we see what is the reason for developing Java as a programming language. Okay. So the primary motivation for Java is the world wanted a platform independent language. Okay, platform independent is also called as architecture neutral language. Okay, so that the software which they will build, it should be embedded in any type of electronics devices. Okay, so if I want to build a remote control or microwave or fridge or AC something, they wanted to make it automated and they wanted to program it, and for that programming they wanted a language which should be platform independent. Okay, anyone knows what exactly platform independent means? Then just for reference you can type. If you don't know, we'll study this thing. I mean,
Doesn't
of
matter
course
if
we will
that
study. Which can run?
which can run on any OS, different OSs
Which
or
can?
like any softwares.
Yes. So one thing is your platform independent language should work on any OS, any operating system. Okay. Plus, it should also work on any type of hardware. Okay. So there are a lot of company who makes a lot of processors. Okay, RAM, everything is there. So we want a language which should run on any configured hardware. Okay. So what happened is, right now we talk about CPU, but the devices for which we are talking, like microwave, ovens, or remote controls, they run on a smaller version of CPU, that is controllers or microcontrollers. Okay. Now what these microcontrollers are capable of, they can work like CPU, but they have only limited powers. Okay. So just like CPU can do anything, controller are I mean they are sorry, they are specialized to perform certain tasks. Okay, so just like remote can only operate or work with TV, if it is TV का remote. Okay, AC का होगा तो वो AC से बात कर सकता है. Alright, but CPUs are like diversified. We can develop any type of applications. They can control any type of applications. Like you can imagine like that. Okay, so CPU is like a full fledged with all the powers. Controllers are limited. Okay, जिसके लिए उनको डिजाइन किया है वो वही टास्क परफॉर्म करें. Okay, and there were a lot of companies who are manufacturing this controller. There are a lot of variety because as we know that we wanted this controllers for performing separate applications. So all are specialized. Okay, they are not generalized things. So सब अलग type के controllers हैं. Now in order to control or in order to develop software for this controller, what we need is, I mean, of course, we have to write a program and we have to convert this program into a bit of binary sequence so that all this controller can understand them. Okay, so all knows what binary language is? Yes, no? Everyone knows about binary? Yes.
Yes.
Yes. In between some question will be there, no? So Keegan, you can disturb me. Fine?
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Can be used in. Okay, till now no question. Okay, so the new problem which we were facing is we had this controller. We have lot of controllers and we want to write program for them. And the problem is I want a specialized converter to control my program. Okay, for specific type of controllers. Okay, so C and C++ का thought of designing was something different. They were specifically designed for computers. Okay, so they were not designed as a language to keeping this thing in mind that future में controllers आने वाले हैं और controllers में ये problem आएगा और उसको हमें solve करना पड़ेगा. Okay, तो ये thought ही नहीं था. Okay, so they were basically programmed that these languages are gonna use for computers. Okay, although C++ as a language, okay, we can use this language to writing program for this controller. Okay, and this code will run also for a controller. But problem for C++ is that for each controller we need separate type of compiler. Okay, यानी हर एक controller के लिए हर एक अलग C++ compiler बनेगा. Okay, so for one controller I need one compiler. For another controller I cannot use the same compiler which I just developed. Okay, so for that I need to develop a separate compiler. All right. Now building compiler is expensive task. ऐसा नहीं कि 2 दिन में चुटकी बजा और कंपाइलर बन जाएगा. Okay, so developing compiler is a time consuming task, so it will take a time. Okay, but what will happen after some time, this controller will replace to its next version. Okay, you can understand how the cell phones are getting replaced. Per year we are having next after each year we get latest version of them. Okay, so same thing, if we are developing compiler for a controller, what will happen after that? Sometime first thing is that process is difficult. We need to spend lot of time, money, energy, and after that, what will happen if the new version is coming? We have to scrap this entire process and नया एक software develop करना पड़ेगा, एक compiler develop करना पड़ेगा, and that too have variety. सिर्फ एक controller नहीं है, we have variety of controller. So this was the challenge which programmer wanted to solve. Okay, so what was the demand? We need a portable language. Portable मतलब एक कोड लिखा है, वो कोड कन्वर्ट होने के बाद में तुम कहीं पे भी रन करो, किसी भी टाइप के मशीन पे रन होना चाहिए. Okay, in platform independent, same thing, no matter which hardware software architecture is there, your program should run there. Okay, ऐसा नहीं होगा कि एक हार्डवेयर के स्ट्रक्चर के लिए अलग से कोड लिखना पड़ेगा, दूसरे के लिए अलग से कोड लिखना पड़ेगा. So the code it should produce code that would run on variety of CPU under different environments. Okay, so this is the main reason for development of Java as a programming language. So this was the problem for which Java was targeted and developed. Okay, but Java has some other plans. उसको यहीं पे settle नहीं होना था. Okay, उसका plan था कि उसको abroad जाना है. So now what happened till that time, जब तक Java famous नहीं हुआ था इतना, the world was divided into this 3 major groups of computing. So Intel अलग एक team था, Macintosh अलग एक team था, Unix एक अलग team था, and the people or the programmer which were under these 3 giants, they were like separated from each other. Okay, so they never thought of collaborating with each other. They wanted to promote their product, they wanted to develop software for their thing. Okay, they are not bothered about what other people are doing. Okay, so it's like fully isolation thing. वो लोग तब से social distancing follow कर रहे थे. So that time nobody thought of writing a portable code कि मैं इंटेल के लिए लिख रहा हूँ, मैकिन्टॉश, यूनिक्स सब जगह पे जाना चाहिए. ओके, तो वैसा किसी ने सोचा नहीं था. देयर वर नो नीड ऑफ राइटिंग कोड with the feature of portability. Okay, so there were no such major need for portability, writing a portable program apart from only the consumer electronics thing. Okay, so it may happen that Java might have remained as a obscure language just for programming those electronic gadgets. Okay, but what happened is World Wide Web came into the picture. Okay, so with the help of internet on top of it, we had this World Wide Web thing. It changed the future of computers. Okay, so now we are interacting with each other. It is also because of World Wide Web and internet. Okay, now what happened is after the advent of World Wide Web, the older need of writing portable program returns into existence. Why? Because this World Wide Web is highly distributed and scattered thing. Okay, it's not like that कि Intel के लिए अलग से World Wide Web होगा, Macintosh के लिए अलग से World Wide Web होगा, Unix people के लिए अलग से World Wide Web होगा. You have to collaborate with each other. Okay, because the major purpose of internet is to connect every machine throughout the world in a network so that we can exchange information from one machine to other machine. Okay, so now you can think that अब Macintosh, Unix इन लोगों को लगा कि अब हमको ऐसा एक लैंग्वेज चाहिए जिसकी वजह से हम लोग एक दूसरे से कम्युनिकेट कर सके, so that Intel user can communicate with Macintosh over internet. Okay, now this low priority problem जो अभी तक सब लोगों के लिए बहुत छोटा सा प्रॉब्लम था कि ये क्या है पोर्टेबिलिटी, इतना कुछ जरूरी नहीं है. okay, it became the highest necessity for their programming language. Okay. Now, in the year 1993, the problem of portability, so which was frequently encountered for creating embedded controllers. Okay. So this is about electronic things. So that same problem was there for writing code for internet. Okay. So getting it, जो problem controllers designing के लिए face कर रहे थे उस time पे, now internet programming के लिए भी we are facing the same problem. Okay. Now the same problem that Java was initially designed to solve on a smaller scale of electronic gadget is now used for internet on a larger scale, यानी world wide के लिए, पूरे दुनिया के लिए करना है. Okay, so the developers focus now switch from writing a programming language for consumer electronics to internet programming. Okay, so this is boom, some miracle happened for Java. Okay, रातों रात viral हो गया. Okay, and then Java gives programmer. Okay, one thing about Java is it will give you full control. You are the driver. तुमको जैसा चलाना है वैसा चलाओ. Okay, so if you are a good programmer, you will come up with a high efficient program software. But if you are a bad programmer, you can create disasters also. Okay, so it is a language for professional programmers. So जिनको लगता है वो programmer है, वो Java से code करेंगे, then they will come up with a better solution. Okay, now we have to solve one confusion that if you check C++ and Java, you will find that they are actually simplified. So you can thought C++ as simply the internet version of, Java is simply as a internet version of C++. Okay, just like C++ is object-oriented version of C, Java is internet version of C++. Okay, but it's not the case. Okay, so although Java has took lot of features from C++ and C, okay, but it is not the enhanced version of C++. Why we can say that? Because the code of Java is not compatible with C++. Okay, so you can use Turbo C for writing C ka code also, C++ code also, but you cannot write Java programs there and compile and run. Cool. So this is the difference that don't think Java as a some C ka relative. They are, it copied lot of things from C++ and C, but it's not having the same base for executing code. It is totally different. Okay, why it is different? Because दोनों का need ही अलग था, existence का. Okay, now let's understand what revolution Java did as a programming language. This is the life of Java. मतलब Java was initially developed for solving smaller consumer electronics problems, and later with the advent of internet and World Wide Web, it simply become a language which is suitable for programming internet and World Wide Web. Okay. If you want to imagine what happened is simply Java got viral. एक वीडियो बना के तुरंत वायरल हो गया. तो इंटरनेट की वजह से जावा क्या हो गया? वायरल हो गया. Okay. Now what changes, what revolution Java is bringing is, so right now after this discussion, what I wanted to convey is, if some language is evolving, okay, basically there were two reasons behind it. So the first reason is there is certain change in the environment. So just like a developer were not able to develop a program for microcontrollers with the help of C++, तो क्या बोला? Java बनाते हैं. Okay, and the second reason is that we wanted to change the way we want to program. We were programming, so there is advance. We want to include advancement in the programming. जैसे C++ हुआ, तो C के अंदर कुछ advanced features add करने थे, तो C++ बना. Okay, so there is a true primary reason for development of any language. तो environmental change की वजह से क्या हो गया था? Java आ गया तुम्हारा existence में, platform independent language चाहिए, and because of some additional features, C++ आया with a object oriented paradigm. Okay. Now what Java, मतलब Java is not simply C++ because Java ने क्या किया? It added the support for multi-threading. Okay. So anyone knows what multi-threading is? Java supports multi-threaded application. किसी को कुछ idea है multi-threading के बारे में? If you don't have, we'll do some small discussion and then proceed further. Yes, no? Some response? Those who are still awake? No, no, no. Okay, so you don't know what multi-threading means. Okay. So we'll have some general discussion about multi-threading. Detail mein we are going to look multi-threading in the course. So what exactly multi-threading is? It means if suppose I have some work at my house, let's suppose I want to do painting of my house. Okay. So I have two options. So I can hire one person which will paint entire house for me. Okay. So this is not multi-threading. Multi-threading means what? I want to finish my task early. So instead of one person, I'll call some 5-6 people, and what this 5-6 people will do, they will do their work parallelly. So एक hall में करेगा, एक bedroom में करेगा, एक kitchen में करेगा, okay? And by following this approach, what benefit I'm going to get? What benefit we can get if we follow this approach? Doing one task or more. For doing one task. Okay, अगर एक प्रोग्राम मैंने लिखा, now what is the sequence for executing code is पहले फर्स्ट लाइन रन होगा, फिर सेकंड लाइन रन होगा, फिर if else होगा तो उसके अकॉर्डिंग जंप होगा, लूप होगा तो लूपिंग में घूमेगा एंड देन नेक्स्ट आएगा. ओके, बट अगर मैं ऐसा कुछ कर सकूं कि आई विल डिवाइड माय कोड वन प्रोग्राम इनटू स्मॉलर सब प्रोग्राम, ओके, सो दैट लूपिंग कोई और एग्जीक्यूट कर रहा है, if else कोई और एग्जीक्यूट कर रहा है, ओके, some other part is executed by some other one, so that is multi threading. Okay, so with this help, with this thing, what we can achieve is we can achieve quicker execution of our code. And why we want multi-threaded thing? Because my processor is capable of doing. Okay, so right now we use i7, i5 processors, जिसके अंदर more than one processors are there. Okay, तो अगर एक से ज़्यादा लोग मेरे पास available है काम करने के लिए, तो why not to write a program in such a way that अगर वो काम multiple लोग साथ में कर सकते हैं, तो हमारा प्रोसेसर भी या जो हमारा भी करंट आर्किटेक्चर है वो मल्टीपल प्रोसेसर से एग्जीक्यूट करे. ओके, so for faster processing we can write multi-threaded program. What multi-threading will do, it will divide your one program into smaller program, okay, so that separate part of code can be handled by separate processors. Or one other thing you can achieve with the help of multi-threading is अगर कुछ part of code is not executing, just like for my program, instruction number 3 is not running. Okay, it needs a certain constraint to be satisfied. उसके बाद ही वो fourth stage पे जाएगा. Okay, but I know that अगर 3 नहीं भी run हो रहा है, then also मेरा जो 6, 5, 6, 7 वाला line है, वो code run हो जाएगा तो कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ने वाला. Okay, so I can do is third को अलग thread में रखेंगे, 4, 5, 6 को अलग thread में रखेंगे, so that even though 3 is not running, 4, 5, 6 क्या हो जाएगा, वो एग्जीक्यूट हो जाएगा. ओके, समझ में आ रहा है कि आई एम वेटिंग फॉर पिज्जा और मेरे को असाइनमेंट भी कंप्लीट करना है. तो मल्टी थ्रेडिंग में क्या हो जाएगा, अगर नहीं आ रहा है तो हम असाइनमेंट लिखना शुरू कर सकते हैं. हाँ, अगर आ गया है तो पहले खा के फिर असाइनमेंट पे जाएंगे, बट अगर वो नहीं आ रहा है देन वी कैन सॉर्ट ऑफ राइटिंग और कंप्लीटिंग आवर असाइनमेंट. ओके, सो दिस इज one aspect of multi-threading. Okay, so the major advantage of multi-threading is we can run our code quickly. Okay, इससे क्या होगा, अगर हमारा कोड क्विकली रन हो गया तो हमने कोड किसके लिए लिखा है, we have written this code for some user, okay, which is waiting for output of this code. तो अगर हमारा कोड जल्दी रन होगा, आउटपुट जल्दी आएगा, एंड यूजर जो वेट कर रहा है आउटपुट के लिए, उसको आउटपुट भी जल्दी से मिलेगा. ओके, इसलिए हम एक क्लिक करेंगे तो नया स्क्रीन तुरंत आ जाता है, बिकॉज लॉट ऑफ मल्टी थ्रेडिंग इज हैपनिंग इन द बैकग्राउंड. ओके, दिस इज अबाउट मल्टी थ्रेडिंग. प्रोग्राम में हम कैसे इंप्लीमेंट करेंगे मल्टी थ्रेडिंग को, वी आर गोइंग टू लुक एट इट. ओके, क्विकली वी फिनिश, जल्दी टाइम खत्म हो रहा है. अपार्ट फ्रॉम मल्टी थ्रेडिंग, this Java language के लिए we develop lot of libraries which can support internet access. Okay, because this is the new feature which we have to add, access of internet. So lot of libraries. जो second developers का team था, they developed lot of libraries for internet programming. Okay, so if we compare C and Java, they are, I mean, equally important for us. So जो C ने initially किया था for the world of programming, Java also did for the world of internet. Okay, so for internet programming, Java का जो value है वही programming के लिए C का जो value है. Okay, this is how we can compare these two languages. This is how Java was so famous. Okay, till this point, any question? No questions? No. Okay. Now let's come to some subtle part of Java programming. So if we talk about Java as a programming language for internet, so what exactly Java did for internet is we developed an application called applet. Okay, and what this applet is doing, this applet is a special kind of Java program. Okay, now it is designed in such a way that this applet can be transferred from one machine to other machine. Okay, तो मेरे कंप्यूटर से मैं किसी और के कंप्यूटर पे भेज सकता हूँ ये आउटपुट जो भी आएगा applet का. Okay, and once it reaches to some other machine, this applet can execute by itself. Okay, and जो भी इसका output रहेगा, you can look it on the browser, web browser. Okay, so web browsers like Google Chrome or any other which you use, Firefox. All right, and this applet was following client server architecture. It means एक server रहेगा जिसके पास Java का code रहेगा applet का, and एक client रहेगा जिसको वो code का output चाहिए. Okay, so the client wants output of this program which is stored on some different server. What client will do, it will send a response to server that मुझे इसका output चाहिए, I want this output. What server will do, it will run the code. Run करने के बाद में जो output आएगा, that output is transferred to the client in form of applet, and once this output is reached to the client machine में execute होगा and you can see the output on your machine. Okay, तो simply क्या कर रहे हैं, कोड किसी और के मशीन पे रन कर रहे हैं, आउटपुट हमारे मशीन पे देख रहे हैं. फाइन. एंड जावा इज सो डायनेमिक. डायनेमिक समझ में आता है तुमको? व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय डायनेमिक? whenever I am telling dynamic as a programmer, what it means? मतलब डायनेमिक का बहुत सारा मीनिंग होता है, बट एज अ प्रोग्रामर व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ डायनेमिसिटी?
Like basically giving an input and getting an output at the same time. वैसे like at runtime only dynamic.
Not exactly. Dynamic here, whenever we are talking about dynamic, we are talking about our main memory, RAM. Okay, so as a programmer, our code is also having data with us. Okay, so if I'm telling dynamic, it means suppose I have 100 data with me and I want to run my code, so I won't put all this 100 data together on my RAM. So dynamic is my like, okay, if there is a need for certain data, then only it will come and store on my memory. और simply अगर समझना है तो मेरे को एक अगर array बनाना है, तो in C programming, if suppose I want to sort only 10 numbers, but हम क्या करेंगे, initially 10 के साथ 12 भी आ सकता है, 50 numbers भी आ सकते हैं, 100 number भी आ सकते हैं, तो हम लोग worst case के लिए क्या करते हैं, we create an array with the size 100. Okay, so that is static way of coding. But dynamic में क्या होगा, if I am having only 10 numbers, तो 10 साइज का एरे बनना चाहिए, 20 नंबर्स है तो 20 साइज का एरे बनना चाहिए, 100 नंबर्स है तो 100 साइज का एरे बनना चाहिए. बिकॉज एरे कहाँ पे स्टोर होगा, रैम में स्टोर होगा. ओके, अगर मेरे को 10 डेटा का रिक्वायरमेंट है, एक इंटीजर बना रहा हूँ, ओके, तो आई एम यूजिंग 100 into 4 bytes, 400 bytes यूटिलाइज कर रहा हूँ रैम का. एंड वी नो दैट साइज ऑफ रैम इज नॉट इक्वल एज द साइज ऑफ माई हार्ड डिस्क. तो 1 टेराबाइट का हार्ड डिस्क होगा तो हार्ड डिस्क रैम विल बी ओनली 4 byte or 6 byte, 6 GB. क्या बोल रहा हूँ? Okay. So what we want is, we don't want to dump entire data of my code at once to my RAM, because RAM full हो गया तो मेरा प्रोसेस स्लो हो जाएगा सब कुछ. ओके, सो डायनामिसिटी में क्या करना है, रैम को तुमको अच्छे से यूज करना है, यानी जब रिक्वायरमेंट होगा तभी यूज करो, जब रिक्वायरमेंट नहीं होगा फोकट में मेमोरी वेस्ट नहीं करना है इन जनरल लैंग्वेज. Okay, so understood what dynamic means? So we are talking about memory, efficient use of memory. Okay, बिकॉज मेमोरी बचाना हमारा एज अ प्रोग्रामर हमारा एक धर्म होता है कि हमको क्या करना है, मेमोरी बचाना है. ओके, तो यूज मेमोरी, हमारे जो रिसोर्सेस है उसको प्रॉपरली यूटिलाइज करना है. तो टू यूज बेटर वे, इन अ बेटर वे वी नीड डायनेमिक प्रोग्रामिंग. सेल्फ एग्जीक्यूटेबल मतलब अगर वो हमारे कोड पे आएगा तो हमको कोई बटन भी दबाना है, वो ऑटोमेटिकली आउटपुट हमको स्क्रीन पे दिखाई देगा ऑन माई ब्राउजर. Okay, this is about one thing. Second aspect was Java brought into existence is the main vision of security also. So first thing is, if you are downloading any program for internet, okay, so there is a risk. Yes, of course, everyone knows. कोई भी को program को download करते नहीं बैठना है हमको. Okay, तो इससे क्या होता है? If you download anything from internet, what will happen is sometimes we'll download viruses, Trojan horse, or other harmful code in our machine. And if this code is entering our machine, if this malicious codes are coming into my machine, what they will do is, instead of me, those code will take access to my system, and now they are in charge of my system. और जो भी data उसके अंदर होगा, okay, so they can simply use this details for any random cause. Okay, नहीं कुछ कर रहे तो डिलीट कर दे रहा है, करप्ट कर दे रहा है. ओके, तो दिस वी वांट टू प्रोटेक्ट. व्हाई? बिकॉज जो एप्लेट आ रहा है वो इंटरनेट से आ रहा है, और वो एप्लेट को तुम्हें अपने मशीन पे क्या करना है, डाउनलोड करना है रन करने के लिए. ओके, so we want that this problem will not come with if we are using applets on our machine. So we want to prevent applets from this kind of attack. Okay, so how Java is dealing with this is, Java creates an virtual environment. Okay, and within this virtual environment only my code will run. It's like मेरे पूरे सिस्टम को एक्सेस नहीं मिलेगा, मेरे सिस्टम के अंदर मैंने कोई सा छोटा सा वर्चुअल कंप्यूटर बनाया है, एंड विद इन दिस वर्चुअल कंप्यूटर जावा कोड विल रन, अपना जिंदगी बिताएगा. ओके, और वहीं पे खत्म होने वाला है. ओके, इट कैन नॉट एक्सेस अदर पार्ट्स ऑफ resources which are available on my system. Okay, so its limitation is within the boundary of this virtual environment. Okay, we'll see what this virtual environment is in detail. Okay, understanding what is the problem? कोई भी सॉफ्टवेयर डाउनलोड होकर हमारे सिस्टम को करप्ट नहीं करना चाहिए. जावा क्या करता है, इफ यू आर डाउनलोडिंग जावा कोड, वो पूरे सिस्टम पे रन नहीं करेगा, वो जावा तुम्हारे सिस्टम में एक वर्चुअल स्पेस क्रिएट करेगा, एंड योर जावा कोड विल रन विद इन दैट वर्चुअल स्पेस. दिस इज हाउ जावा is giving us security. Okay, at the primary level. Okay, security is a big thing, but on a primary level, this is how Java may convince you that I am a secured language. Okay, we'll do this last thing and then stop करते हैं. कितना टाइम बाकी है अभी? 57. Okay, होने वाला. Okay, so just understand this portability thing. Next lecture में I will tell you how Java is exactly portable. So first is major aspect of internet is, what is the major aspect? Things are divided, scattered. Okay, they are not on a same location. So and plus different people are using internet, so they are having different system based on their choice. Okay, so they can have their own computer with their own operating system, and we wanted some programming language which should enable this feature. Okay, that whatever code I am writing, it gets executed on all type of machine. Okay, तो जैसे मैंने एक एप्लेट का प्रोग्राम लिखा है for Unix machine, the same code will run on Linux also, Windows also, Mac also. Okay, और उसके अंदर कोई भी ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम हो वो भी चलना चाहिए. So it is, I mean, of course, this is the problem with non-portable language, that if you are not able to do this thing, then तुमको अलग-अलग applet program लिखना पड़ेगा for different devices. Okay, और हमको क्या करना है, we need to write a program that the same code will run on all different networks. Okay, so next very important part which is left about Java is, I am going to tell you how Java is platform independent. Okay, but I guess time up हो गया ना अपना. We have time till 12, no, for this lecture?
Yes.
Yes, so time up for this. So next lecture में I will tell you how exactly Java is platform independent. So after this slide, you will understand what exactly happening in Java programming, which is making it as a platform independent language. Okay, so this is for the next lecture. If you have any question, you can ask whatever things we covered. So this is like a story of Java programming and with all power which it has. Okay, so one more theory lecture mein hoga, then we can jump to programming. And I guess in your practicals you already started with programming, correct? So I'll stop sharing. We'll see this thing later. I'll take attendance, so just be remain here for some time. Okay, questions are coming. Reference book. I'll post reference book today. Don't worry. I'll post. I have a soft copy of, though it is illegal. We cannot circulate it, but you can use that thing. Okay. Internet is a best place to learn Java programming because you'll get all latest thing there. Okay, so अभी तक जो भी हम पढ़ रहे हैं, we are just trying to explore history of Java programming language, and on top view में we want to understand it. Can you share this PPT on Classroom? Yes, I will share. Okay, all PPTs I will share. I am recording this video also, so that if possible I can share it with you. I'll stop recording till now. Okay. Any other question?